A very good evening to one and all present here. This is Tejaswini, your host for today's session. You're watching 124th episode of Future Talk series conducted by Prayaana. Now let's have a look at the Prayaana organization. Prayaana is a unique employability, entrepreneurship, and innovation ecosystem for women. Prayaana Labs gives wholesome career support services, right from career counseling, training, mentoring, and recruitment services all under one umbrella. You can also check us at www.prayaana.org. Are you a student, a working woman, or a woman who wants to upgrade your skills? Then Prayaana is just the right platform for you. To join us, register at www.prayaana.in or download our app on App Store or get it on Google Play. So what are you waiting for? Create your profile today. It's a community hub where we provide training programs and learning modules over international and well-acclaimed platforms. Now we come to Prayaana Collective, which is also called Prohub. It is India's first e-commerce platform that is dedicated to the empowerment of women. The platform is uniquely designed with an attractive affiliate marketing model where we provide the customers an opportunity for lifetime savings and earnings. You can also check us at www.prakol.com. Remember, for every purchase you make on Prakol, you're supporting a woman's business growth. Here's how you can actively interact in today's session. Post your queries at the live chat in our YouTube channel. All your queries will be shared live to our guests and answered. How many of us saw our mothers place budget for our homes and manage our savings in the places which we could never guess? What were such skills she possessed to run the finance of our homes? We now come together to discuss one of the most important power tools which all of us can enhance during the session. This evening, we will have live interaction with our speaker for today's session, Ms.Sreedevi K, who is Director and CEO at Prohub Process Management Private Limited. Now let's have a look at her profile. Ms.Sreedevi has worked with RG Price and Company, Cochin for CA internship. Geojit Commodities Limited, Cochin as Accounts Executive, Kumkundu Motors Private Limited, Cochin as Assistant Finance Manager, Deloitte Consulting India Private Limited, Bangalore as Staff Business Analyst. Let's have a small glimpse at her entrepreneurship journey, which she began with an entrepreneurship intention that no business should fail. In fact, they should support every business with timely planning, appropriate systems and process, efficient accounting and reporting structure, efficient continuous learning and development adds great value to this. Here's a brief look at her entrepreneurial timeline. Now let's go through it. On November 2014, she started her own business, helping two businesses run by friends with structuring their accounts and integrating workflow. On February 2015, businesses for SK Consultancy, a proprietorship. Here, she opened her first office at Kadavansara, Cochin, with no team size. On January 2016, the business name changed with the birth of ProcessHub.in. She got influenced by attending batch of 8 of Vijay Bhava with team size of 3 with turnover of 4 lakhs. On July 2018, she got investment firm company Prohub Process Management Private Limited. Here, she shifted the office to bigger space with 3 verticals, process, accounts, and compliances and learning with team size of 6 to 7 and turnover of 10 lakhs. On January 2020, with international clients from UK and US, she had team size of 8 with turnover of 17.5 lakhs. During the pandemic period, she learned vertical expansion through online tools, where she learned cost-effective management of business team, support, and welfare. On February 2021, she got into expansion in action with presence in other districts and outside states in talks and action. Ma'am, we are glad to have you as a speaker for today's session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Tejaswini. It was nice to go through those introduction and the timeline. Right. So I first of all thank Prayaana, and also I've been knowing Prayaana's activities and the milestones that Prayaana has achieved in um, affecting or are affecting positively in the lives of so many women, uh, not only in Kerala but throughout the country and even outside. So I thank the opportunity to be part of this future talks conducted by Prayaana, and also wish the entire team, Dr. Chandra, and wonderful team that she has built up across the country. I just now learned the two of them here who are managing this talk are not even in Cochin. They are all situated in different parts of the country, and very impressive growth that Prayaana has achieved. And it's in fact empowering women in multiple ways that really is bringing about the change that Chandra has, and her team has visioned. So thanks once again for having me over. Um, so the topic for the day is Finanskill. Okay, Finanskill, it's a power tool for women, it seems. So let's see how and what we mean by all this, and what is this all about? Like it's always a big talk around when they say that women need to be financially independent, women need to earn, women need to be like they should be able to handle their own finances. So, without doubt, I would say that women are capable of managing, multitasking, executing, uh, and balancing work life in a very efficient way. The degrees may differ, the levels of management skills may differ, but uh, entirely women are capable of doing so many activities in the business field at home front as well as in their careers. But
So,
uh, but one thing that has been one thing that has been um, very alarming or very addressable factor is the fact that how many women very strongly or very confidently come forward and say that, yeah, I am financially independent, yes, but I know to manage my finances as well. I know where to invest. I know what to do with the money that I earn. I know to build the future. I know to make my money work for me. Even entrepreneurs, women who are in entrepreneurship, who are in business, uh, those women who have started from the very scratch, they have built up the business, they have managed the entire show by themselves. But if you talk to them or ask them about their financial position, if you talk to them in financial language, then there is a hitch there. There's a hesitation there. There is a oh, that my chartered accountant will be able to tell you better, or my accountant will know that better, or some advisor will know that better. So that hesitation or that gap actually is a hindrance to a holistic growth of a woman, I would say. So why is it that women fall back on that when it comes to matters of money, when it comes to matter of investment, in matters of assessing the investment, assessing the returns, business financials, business accounts, all those number game, why do we women come back on it? So that is one area uh, which I think is or will put women on a better level of their of control of their finances, or the knowledge of those finances will help them move forward in a better way. So why is it that okay? If it is a matter of taking even an LIC policy or some investment policy, it's like okay, let me check with my husband if we have some spouse like that, partner like that, or let me check with my friends. Let me see what they are doing. I will do as what they are doing, what they do, or let me talk to my financial advisor. So why don't we make that basic study on our own? Oh, those are complicated terms. Like, what do you mean by ROI? What do you mean by interest? What do you mean by compounding? What do you mean by options? What do you mean by shares? Investment is so risky. All those worries are there. No, I don't want to put my head over that. Let me just be, let me just do my passion and my core activities. Let me not get into that. So yes, of course, you can get into you need to do more on your core activities, but in every aspect, you should be able to know what finances mean, what accounts mean for entrepreneurs or anyone who are interested, entrepreneurs also who want to get into business. You should be able to understand the language of finance, language of accounting, so that you know exactly what the money is doing for you, how the money is rolling inside a business, how you can make money work for you, how can you make money, make more money. So all those things is what we need to be very confidently handling to make that holistic growth, or you can say the completely I'm financially independent. Okay, so that is the premise of our discussion today. So I am not going to do any PowerPoint presentation or anything. So it is some things that we need to understand, uh, you know, in concept. So that is why I'm not going to have any PPT here, but I will be sharing my screen and uh, putting across. So it's going to be the live writing. Okay, so it's like the first area I would say is what do you actually. So I'm just sharing my screen with all of you. So this is nothing but this is just a whiteboard, and it goes like here. So what we actually want to know uh, in about finance, or the role of finance actually. So finance and women. Okay, that's the whole premises. But uh, more importantly, I would say finance and independence. That be it for a woman or a man, finance and independence or financial independence is very very important to achieve. Or rather, I would say finance management. We might earn a lot. We might earn a very handsome money in hands, or we might our income might be very very beautiful. It might look very beautiful on the bank account, but how do we manage those uh, balances that has come that comes into the account? How do we uh, how do we decide what to invest in, or what to do with this money? So so basically I feel we need to understand that uh, finance is flow of money in and out of our lives. Okay, so um, finance can flow in multiple ways. You might have an income, a regular source of income. You may have a regular source of income, and you may have ad hoc incomes. Okay, so what do you mean by regular source of income? Regular source is like, for you, suppose you have a salary. If you're working somewhere, then you have a salary which comes in every month. And in a household, it might be both the husband and wife, or even the parents. So whoever income comes into, then there is an income flow that happens. Suppose it is, if you look at the women alone, or as an individual, so we can say that okay, we have some income that comes in, and maybe sometimes I do some creatives, or I make paintings, and then that's my passion, and then I sell those paintings, and that becomes my ad hoc income, because my main profession is not painting. I have not accepted that as my main profession yet. So those kind of things are ad hoc incomes. So which does not have a regular nature. But we need to understand what is our regular income and what is our ad hoc incomes, and what do we do for gaining that regular income. Is it a job? Is it self-employment, or is it some kind of a business or some kind of entrepreneurship venture you've taken up? What is that source of that regular income? That is what we need to establish first, and we need to see what comes in. Uh, maybe it's fixed or not fixed, but then it is regularly coming in. So those kind of sources of income is what we need to first establish. Now, women here who are watching this, who are running business or who are wanting to get into business. So business is all about this, like, oh, business, lot of turnover is happening, but I don't have income. So there, again, there is a issue there. So I, like, a lot of sales, a lot of service, a lot of money comes into the bank, but I'm not able to take anything because the expenses are also huge. I'm not able to take anything for myself. That is there. Initial years of every business may look like that. But further on, definitely there should be a break even period, post of which we need to ensure that even if it is a very small amount, something comes out from that business into our personal account. So, finance management. So, first, for the purpose of finance management, first thing, finance should flow into our pockets or into our accounts. So now, when we said inflow of finances, so we were just discussing about inflow of finances. That is the regular source or some kind of which we do not count on, right? So there might be the next, as we said, is outflow of finances, outflow of fund or money. Now, what do you mean by outflow of fund? So, we all know that to make ends meet is a big challenge for everyone, that be it a man or a woman. So, making the ends meet is the priority. The priority expenses are there. What is the savings that we intend to have? So, the first step towards financial independence is actually deciding. I have 10,000 rupees of income a month, a regular source of income during a month, and I am going to save 1,000 rupees, 10% of my income as savings. I'm going to move that 1,000 rupees into the savings first. As soon as my 10,000 rupees hits my account, the 1,000 rupees goes into my savings account. Okay. The balance of the 9,000 is only available. So that strict discipline is a very, very basic step. It's just a matter of moving a 10% of your income into something, into another savings account or into some investment. So that is the first basic disciplinary decision that we need to take as women. Whatever happens, it's only 9,000, not 10,000. And slowly, we need to manage our expenses, the outflow of finances in that 9,000. Slowly bring it down. Make that expenses, however, you can reduce from that 9,000 even to 8,000. So then we get 2,000 savings. Then, so outflow of funds is first into savings, and then only for expenses. For expenses. And these expenses also, you can prioritize. You can decide the totally unavoidable expenses and those that is not that prioritized. Okay, we can manage it for some more days. We can push it for some more days. Those kind of planning should be there. But definitely priority expenses, definitely yes. So we have inflow. We have discussed outflow also. How we need to manage inflow and outflow. This is for a person, maybe an employed person or a person who has some kind of is into some passion or business or some self-employment, but who has a regular kind of an income, who's able to draw some money out of that. So where we get to save first and then go into expenses, we have achieved the big feat there. And what happens to that saved money? We need to ensure to understand the basics of investment. We all understand, in our house, or when we look at our own self when we were younger, when we used to get pocket money, or even for that matter anything, even if it is a 10 rupee, it is fine. So we knew how to, all of us know how to manage money. Okay, something comes into our purse, we know that we have bought that, we have bought this, and then the balance is there, right? We should be mindful of what is coming in and what we are going out. That is, again, be aware of, it's like financial yoga, I would say. So it's like you need to ensure to be aware of what is coming in and what you do whatever you want to do. You're free to do with your money, to do whatever with your money. You want to shop, you go shop. If that gives you some happiness, go ahead. And if it is priority, yes, all the provisions to run the house, or to manage your kids, or to manage the parents, medicines, everything, all those things, provisions, any kind of things that deserves priority, please do that first, but after savings. And those savings that you have, that finance, how are we going to manage that? So it's like, it's not about earning, it's about saving. It's about saving and about investing that saving and earning more. So it's like you are making that money earn more money. So we need to have an idea what this investment avenues are. In what all way we can invest our money. In what all way you can employ your money to make more money. So there are lots and lots of opportunities, lots of avenues which you can say: share market, financial market, secured investments, risk investments, options, derivatives, whatnot. So you need to understand the basics for sure. Have some basic training you need to get from professionals, from experts. There, don't go into information overload, because the moment you get into Google, free tutorials, Udemy, any kind of platform, learning platforms, they all give you lots and lots of information. So we need to decide what suits us the best. But definitely don't keep the money simply in a bank account where you get only some 4 to 5%. Where the money is capable of earning even up to 10%, why do you have to make them earn only 4%? So whether a ULIP policy, whether it is a long-term investment or whether it is a short-term, the small ones, the systematic investment plans, or in that you have to put in mutual funds, anything. It could be anything. But have a trusted financial advisor by your side. Talk to people. Talk to people who have already invested. What about their experiences? But don't get carried away. You need to have your own evaluation. So basically, so if you just look at it in simple terms, in very simple terms, you have money, your savings, you need to invest it. Oh, sorry, your savings. Sorry, I would start with your earnings. So the first point would be your earnings, your savings, invest your savings, learn about the various investment opportunities, get advice. So whether you want to have it long term or short term, flexible plans where you can recover the money as and when you require them, or put them in long-term investment, which will give you returns over the long term. It all depends on the uh, purpose of making those money, making that investment. Okay, so this should happen on one side of your life, of your earning. What do you say? There is no time period for your earning. It's not that okay, you earn only up till, you can work only up till say 45, 50, and then you need to retire. Nothing like that. You can go on working. You can make money in uh, until the day you die. So it's all depends on what kind of long term period you need to choose for your investment purpose. Earnings should come. So we should plan that kind of things. We need to know what do you mean by short term and long term investments, what are secured investments, what do you mean by risk, and what do you mean by return. So we all know that where there is uh, higher risk, high risk will give you high returns. It's a directly proportionate relationship. High risk, high returns. So when a person decides, I am quitting my job and going to start venture into business, that person is taking a huge risk in the hope that that person can earn high, make high returns. Yes, it is there if you do the things right. So earning will happen on one side, investment should happen silently on the other hand. When a person has a financial backing, the confidence that the person gets in whatever they do, in their body language, in their appearance, in their talking, it's something great. Those who are into business, who have ventured out into business, uh, irrespective of the scale of the business, we might be growing, we might be startup, we might be in a growing stage, we might be in a scale up model, we might be a matured business, we might be facing a depletion. It's a cycle actually. It's a cycle. So obviously, we could be in any of these stages for those who are in business. In whatever stage you are, you need to know exactly what the business financials talk to you. You need to know what the business is is communicating to you in terms of numbers. When I was introduced, my company's turnover, the number of people working for me, all those details were given there. I need to be aware. I write that because I need to be aware. I have made a certain amount of turnover with these many number of people working for me. My team size and my earnings, I connect it because my business is such. You should know how much of turnover or how much of income I can make on my own. How much of turnover I can make if I have this many number of people. And what is the uh, turnover or income projection that I need to make year on year. So business financials and how business financials work is very important for any person in business to know. Whether you have learned, whether you have a commerce background or accounting background or finance background or not, irrespective of that, you need to learn what you mean by business financials. So, uh, so that brings us to the second part of what I wanted to discuss. So the first one was about making money, saving money, inflow, outflow, and making financial investments, making money work for you. The second part, which we are going to discuss as we are coming into this, is business financials. When a person gets into business, as we all know, the person takes a lot of risk, and uh, everyone in the beginning stage of the business, suppose a fashion designer, a person who knows, who has a lot of idea, or is expert in designing, is getting into cloth manufacturing or dressmaking, and or even into some kind of a structural advice or structural designing. So this kind of business requires high kind of, so the whole, the person or the brain is that person alone, that person. So it starts with everything is you, the capital, the investment, everything is that person. So it's just a matter of getting a project and working on it. So there is no investment as such. You don't even need an office. You are the office. Wherever you sit and in front of your system, that is your office. You sit in the park, or you sit in some shared office. You sit in your friend's house. You sit in your own house, in your room. It's all office, and we all know that now. The pandemic, what has taught us the most, you can work anywhere, from anywhere. So that's one thing. When you come to business, the investment is there. There is a uh, uh, financial investment that goes in. Now when this individual has to expand the business, so that person has to hire two people, then that person needs an office or some kind of a infrastructure investment, or even to buy a sophisticated computer, or designing softwares to be installed. So that there starts the investment in business, the financial investment. In fact, you should consider yourself also an investment, because if you had been working somewhere else, you would have made that salary, right? So you have forgone that salary and you're sitting here making no money in the initial years. So financial investment starts where you decide to have, you buy anything for the purpose of business. You hire people, you buy computers, you buy any kind of equipment or machinery, and then you start working. You get projects, you deliver, you invoice, you purchase something. So if you're in trading business, you're buying and selling, then you need money to buy it. You need money to stock it. All that is investment. So guys who are in business, there's one more thing that you need to understand other than this money that comes in terms of investment. And now, from where does the investment money come from? So either it is you borrow from someone, you borrow from friends, or you have some kind of savings here. This portion, your savings works for you. Then now you can break any investments, some short-term investments you can break, and then invest that money into the business. So you don't have to ask anyone, or you can borrow it from your family, from your friends, or approach financial institutions or banks to fund your project. In whatever source the money comes in, it has a cost. Don't forget that it has a cost. Every penny that comes in has a cost. If it is your own money, still it has an opportunity cost. You could have invested that money and made some extra interest there. So every penny that goes into your business has a cost. So don't forget that. Now here, when you make financial investment into your business, there is another terminology which you should be very aware, businesswomen here, very aware that there's something called accounts and compliance. Much of your time, much of your patience, much of your um, the very important and very relevant time which you could have invested in expanding your core activities in your business, will you sit and design a dress, or will you be thinking about going and paying your electricity bill, or how do I record all these transactions? Will you be going behind your accounting, or will you be trying to deliver creative designs for your clients and make more businesses? So it is important that we know what about how we manage that finance, how we manage accounts. When it comes to business, please remember one sentence underline: business is separate and you are separate. Because business is an identity. Business has its own identity, a separate identity. Okay, it is a separate legal entity, whether it is proprietorship, partnership, limited liability partnership, private limited company, any constitution type it could be. But business is separate and you are separate. So what I mean is, business finance, it belongs to the business and not yours. If you are drawing any money from the business, it could be for the time you have spent there as salary or drawings. So it is not your money, it's the business money. So there comes managing two things: managing business finance and managing your personal finance. So women in business, or entrepreneur women as we call them. So there is business finance and personal finance, right? So there is an earning which the business makes, and there's an earning which you make from the business. And you could have other sources of income also. So when you manage business finance, accounts, and compliance, they are an integral part of that. You need to understand that every transaction that goes, every business transaction, I meant, every business transaction needs accounting, needs a recording. It could be whether it is informal or formal. It needs a recording. It needs an accounting. It needs the supporting documents to be filed and kept neatly, chronologically. Every month on month, you need to know two, three, I mean, definitely you would be wanting to know whether you have made profits or loss. You want to know what happened to the investment, business investment that you've made here, the financial investments, like what's happening to the computer, what's happening to the furniture that you've bought, what's happening to the people whom you've hired, you're paying them. So what capital you have invested in the business, that is the financial investment. So you need to know the position uh, of your assets and liabilities. So there comes these new terminologies, that is financial statements. Financial statements. Financial statements, the basic ones, the ingredients of financial statements, as you all know, is profit and loss account, or it can be called as income and expense statement, then balance sheet. This profit and loss statement is like our report card in school. Come on, please don't make us remember all those things. Shut and close matters. No. Profit and loss account, or the income and expenditure statement, is like the is like the report card that we used to get in school. What all we have done in one whole year, the result, or for one whole year means one period. Maybe it is 1 month, or it could be even a day, it could be a week, it could be 3 months, it could be a quarter, it could be half yearly, and the whole year. Whole financial year means. Our financial year starts from April to March. And we are currently, from yesterday, we are in the financial year 2021-22. So it's a new financial year beginning. So financial year is one 12. It's a 12-month period which actually marks uh, a one performance period. So profit and loss account for the financial year 21-22. That's how it's called. For the year end 31/3/2022. Balance sheet is the position of your assets and liabilities on a particular day. On a particular day, it could be any day during the financial year. It gives you the position, the value of assets and liabilities. Obviously, we should have uh, a knowledge about the cash flow, and that comes out in the document called cash flow statement. Cash flow statement is not a mandatory financial statement ingredient. For larger firms, it is. When you say you have a turnover of 10 lakhs or any amount, 50 lakhs, that whole 10 lakhs is not your money. Is the money you have got from your clients, from your customers. You have expenses against that. So when you make a turnover of 10 lakhs, there might be expenses of 8 lakhs. And the balance that you have is is the 2 lakhs, only that is your profit. Sometimes 10 lakhs is your turnover and your expenses is 12 lakhs. Initially, definitely expenses will be more than the income. Again, that depends on the kind of business, the nature of business. Okay, it is not a rule that every business has to make a loss in the first year. No, there's no rules, no such rule. So the day we start making profits, the day we start paying taxes for the profits that we make in business, that's a good sign. But exactly to know how the cash has been, the cash or the fund is flowing inside the business. If 10 lakhs is your turnover, you might have received in cash only 6 lakhs. Maybe 4 lakhs is credit sales. You have allowed credit sales. Customers have to give you that 4 lakhs. 4 lakhs lies with the customer. Your cash flow statement will show, or the fund flow statement will show your fund position as 6 lakhs only and not 10 lakhs. So that's the difference between a profit and loss account and a cash flow statement. 45 minutes or even 10 minutes or 15 minutes, the time we are discussing this is too short a time to talk about financial statements and the ingredients about. But you need to have, as an entrepreneur, you need to have, as an intrapreneur also, you need to learn the concepts of accounts and finance before getting into business. Of course, the core activity, definitely that is your forte. Please ensure that you focus on that. But definitely on one side of it, you have to ensure you know all these things. You know what you mean by financial statements. You know what you mean by accounts. What do you mean by compliances? All the statutory compliances, regulatory compliances, the licenses that you need to acquire to start your businesses, the registration that you need to take for your business, for example, GST, the registrations under the direct tax and the indirect taxes. You need to know what you mean by taxes. You need to know what is direct tax and what is indirect tax. Again, too short of time to discuss that in a session like this. It needs patient learning about all these concepts. Whether you are in business or it's never too late to start. So I've heard Sri Kochal Chitlapalli sir talking about, he said, I'm not from a commerce background, but I wouldn't know what my accountants talk to me. I wouldn't understand the languages. When they bring a profit loss account in front of me, I wouldn't know how to read it or what I should understand from that. Then he told me, he was telling us in a group that he went and learned all this. He did a course. He went and learned all this to appreciate these statements, to appreciate what the accountants do for him, to appreciate or to talk the chartered accountant language, to understand what they are trying to communicate. So it's very, very relevant to learn all these patiently, understand at your pace, understand all these concepts and how this works actually. You don't have to go sit and do accounting or manage your finances and all. You don't have to do that on your own. But still, you should be aware of all this. When you get financial statements in front of you, or for that matter, any financial analysis report that comes in front of you, your performance analysis, you should know what working capital is, how this working capital helps us, where the shortage comes, business direction, where the business is going, how the business is going. Is the business actually doing good or not? Are we suffering? Are we having a pressure on the working capital? To know all these things, you need to know the concepts. It actually boils down to the very basics of what do you mean by debit and credit. So you need to understand all those things to actually mean that you are financially literate and you are financially independent. You can be financially independent only if you are financially literate. And when you are financially literate, you'll be able to plan and do things on your own. You don't need um, a person's advice. Of course, you can check with people, you can check with seniors, you can check with professionals, but you need to have that knowledge. So you can do your homework first. You can spend some time on that, but not at the cost of your core activities. Definitely not. But having said that, knowing the basic stuffs, knowing analytical reports that comes in front of you, you need to ask for that. You should at least know what you should ask your accountants. You need to know what you should ask your financial advisors. At least when they talk, we should be able to relate what that topic means. So definitely we should do our homework and be prepared to take on your finances as an employee, as a salaried person, or as an entrepreneur, or as a self-employed, or as a business owner, or even as a homemaker who has income. In whatever role you are, you need to have finances. You need to understand the language. You need to talk that language. You need to know how to make your money work for you and know what financial statements is all about. That makes any woman truly financially independent, and that makes a 360-degree what do you say, perfection in women, I feel. So that's all from my end. I think I have maintained the time that was given to me. um, I was asked to stop at 7:45 and leave the session open for questions if anyone wants to ask.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am, for covering various aspects of finance skills. It is said that a penny saved is a penny earned, and this holds good for business or households. Thank you for covering various aspects in which all of our viewers could understand. With this, we come to the Q&A session. Our viewers have posted few of their questions. It would be great if you could answer those.
Sure.
Yes. So our first viewer asks, what should we take into account when we are choosing the best financial plan to start our own business?
Okay, for our business. So you need to know, definitely you should know from the source of your income and how regular it is. And then we should know what kind of investment you need to make in the business, that is in terms of assets, in terms of people, hiring people, or and then um, go in for a financial markets or financial products, depending on your purpose, whether you want to make a long-term investment or whether you want to have a short-term investment. So in business, basically, depends on the nature of business. Generally, I can just say that on what assets you need to invest, what kind of working capital requirements you may have. So you need to have that kind of fund with you before you venture out into a business. So for that, you need to make financial projections. Then exactly you will know what kind of fund you will need to run your business. Because from the day one, we may not be able to make profits or bring in the cash flow. So to meet that, we need to have funds with us, and it all depends on the business nature and the time you require to actually get into the market and make that sales happen and make that conversion happen and the money flows in. So generally, I can say you need to know what your business investment requirements are and your working capital requirements.
Thank you, ma'am. Our next viewer asks, I'm a working woman with fixed income. My expenses and savings are constant for past few years. How can I raise my investment to buy my own house?
Fantastic. So I strongly suggest that I don't know if you have done it yet. If not yet, you should talk to a financial advisor, because there are really, really flexible and high return products available in the market, which is safe and secure, and your returns, your money is in safe hands. So you need to talk to a financial advisor who can give you the various options for this. And I think that will help you to plan your requirements, because all depends on how long the money takes to grow to that amount, your required amount. Because a house can be built or house can be bought even from 30 lakhs to even the sky is the limit. So what is your requirement? All depends on your requirement type and your income levels. So I would suggest take a financial advisor help.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope this would have answered her question. Our next viewer asks, I earn income monthly. I have tried investing in banks and mutual funds, but I'm apprehensive to go for stock markets. I require few tips regarding this investment.
Okay, it's a huge topic as such. The whole financial market investment is again subject to market risk and all that. So that is a common line that we hear, and we are already, as you rightly said, we are all apprehensive about going and investing in the market. Even I personally may not do that outright, but definitely I would start learning about it. I would I would like you to actually look at it. I'm sure so you were saying that you've already done a lot of things, right? You are slowly making small investments. So going into a stock market depends on your whole idea, whether it is a long term, you want to place your money in equity or in short term funds, or what is your whole purpose of, or you just want to speculate, or you just want to make some small bits there. So there are different products like derivatives, options, where you can make quick money. If you have a long-term investment in equity lying there, then you can make quick money. Actually, even weekly return options are also there, where you can play with options. So you should probably look at that. Definitely get a financial advice if you don't have yet. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next viewer asks, can we plan for huge investments without having to take loans?
See, one basic rule in investment is do not borrow funds and invest, because borrowing is a cost. As we all know, any money, any penny that comes in has cost attached to it. So it's whether it is our own or from a borrowing cost. So borrowing funds and investing is not a good idea. I wouldn't suggest that. But otherwise, making that small investments, whatever you have as income, as savings, and then you invest, and then you go for a long-term investment and make that steady progress. Okay, this month I have money, so I invested. Next month I don't have money, so I do not invest. If you go in a properly disciplined manner, then I'm sure you can make some good progress in that. And huge investments, if you have that kind of huge investments, you can place it in long-term equity and then play with that in options, where you get weekly, just like what I answered earlier. That option is there. Again, I would say, please do this with an advice of a good financial advisor.
Thank you, ma'am. We have our final question posed by our viewer. So he or she asks, what all factors decide it's time to scale up our business when everything is going fine?
Okay, so that's the point there. If you are in a comfort zone, it's a time to get up and scale up. So never get into a comfort zone. So if you feel that, if you're seeing in the business which the business financial are also supporting that, that the business is going well, we need to actually increase our profit to next level, or increase the turnover to the next level, where there is market opportunities. So we need to go and explore that. Depends on what business you are doing. So where you know that you are in a comfortable post. So let me just tell you, in the initial years, I was, every month end, I'll be like, oh, how do I pay the salary? How do I pay the rent? Then it slowly came to a stage. This slowly is actually years, okay? And it came to a situation where, okay, salary is taken care. Now, how do I pay rent? Then slowly it moved to a fact where, okay, salary and rent is taken care of. Now I'm comfortable. And being comfortable is a point where I need to know that, yes, I need to increase my services. I need to bring innovation in my services. I need to uh, increase my target base. My client base needs to be increased. So where you know that you have a comfortable position there, my receivables are under control. I don't have much payables. I am moving very smoothly. I am able to, as an entrepreneur, I am able to draw some money for my living expenses and some kind of savings and investments. Then I'm in a comfortable zone. Please scale up. Don't wait for anything else.
Thank you, ma'am, for answering all the questions. And our viewers have also posted their thanking note in the live chat. It's great to see all those messages. With this, we come to an end of the Q&A session. Thank you, viewers, for posting all your questions. And big thanks to our speaker for joining and helping us in conducting this session. Did this session feel worth your time spent? Then don't forget to hit on the like and subscribe button to watch more such webinars by our speakers. Click on the bell icon to be notified on all our updates. For advertisements or sponsorships, mail us at joinprayaana@gmail.com. Once again, I thank everyone for joining and being a part of this session. Thank you. Thank you, Sreedevi ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you so much.